Hello, everyone. It's Shane Conto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. This is my weekly show where my guests and I each pick a film related in some shape or form, and hopefully by the end of this episode, you have two films to go check out. And it is the first Thursday of the month, so that means one thing. That means my wife Jess is joining me. Jess, thank you so much for coming on.
It's a pleasure as always, Shane.
Of course. And we're going to be doing a double dose of crime thriller action flicks from Michael Mann. We're going to be talking about 1995's Heat and 2004's Collateral. And let's get started with Heat, this almost 3 hour crime epic. We have a group of high end professional thieves start to feel the heat from the LAPD when they unknowingly leave a verbal clue at their latest heist. And, like mentioned, this is written and directed by Michael Mann, and this is starring Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, John Voight, Tom Sizemore, and many others, plenty of familiar faces, a lot of character actors in this one. And Jess, what are your general thoughts on Heat?
It's loud.
One of the things that stand out the most about this film is the sound design and the sound mixing because those gunshots sound like cannon fire.
Yeah, I don't know how they're not all yelling at each other in the end from being deaf.
Well, they are professionals, they are prepared. I guess they're
I still feel like they'd have some permanent damage to their eardrums.
map, map,
It,
map.
I don't think this feels like almost 3 hours. It moves pretty fast.
Mhm.
There's a lot of shooting, obviously.
Yes, there certainly is.
Quotes from this.
There certainly are, and I'll certainly be quoting some of them.
Shane's gonna torture me with. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't have to do my Al
No,
Pacino
it's okay.
impression if you don't want me to.
It's all right. It's crazy though to think that these dudes were already old in this, and 30 years later they would both have a baby and be even older.
Yeah,
I thought that the whole time. I'm like, I know that he's acting tired, but like, I can't imagine how tired he is right now. Although, let's be honest, we really think that he's full-time dadding and doesn't have help.
nah, they're still both acting,
How should you marry someone young? They're young and spry and have the energy to take care of a newborn.
and they're young enough to divorce you and take you for all your money.
You know what?
Like, I'm pretty sure Al Pacino's young partner did that.
That's their fault for not having a prenup. I'm gonna
It's
say I
just
don't
all
want to
that
victim.
coming.
I don't want to victim blame here, but if you have that much money, you gotta have a prenup. Anyway, this isn't about prenups. It's about heat.
Yeah, this isn't intolerable cruelty.
Yeah,
But yes,
they don't really
Al
have assets. He doesn't really have assets in this to lose,
Both Al
except for the TV.
Pacino, yeah, both Al Pacino and Robert De Niro are in their 50s at this point. And, one's a whole entire life dedicated to police work, basically. And the other one is the premier professional thief in LA.
Surprised he's not French. Feels
Interesting.
like he should be French.
No, just Robert De Niro.
Yeah, I guess not every sophisticated thief is French, but usually in movies, I feel like they are.
Only the jerk ones that wind up being antagonists, like in Ocean's 12.
And Bon Voyage from The Incredibles.
True. But what are some of your other general thoughts of the film besides that Al Pacino and Robert De Niro are already old and it's loud?
You know, maybe I'd have different thoughts from the first time I watched this, but now that I'm old and grizzled, those are my thoughts about it. I think it moves. It's a good movie. I think people should see it.
I,
It's a good crime movie.
especially watching it this time, I was quite impressed by how intricate and well threaded together the narrative is with the screenwriting because there are a lot of characters, there are
Yeah.
a lot of subplots going on, but they all flow, and at some point they all feel like they're either narratively significant or thematically
Mm.
significant, and it doesn't really feel like anything's underdone. You even have like something like the Dennis Haysbert subplot where he gets out of prison and you're not quite sure why he fits into the story at first, and he's having that horrible experience working at Bud Court's restaurant, and
Mm.
then it's just fate that, you know, Danny Trejo's character can't show up that day for the heist, and he winds up being desperate because he can't assimilate back into society because screw people coming out of prison because F you, this is America.
You can't
And
just be better magically and acquire money.
they wonder why people wind up going back to crime. And unfortunately, he
Yeah.
learns the hardest of lessons and winds up dying during the heist.
And
And
then you have the LAPD, which is infamously corrupt and does not handle things well.
well,
Al Pacino, who seems to be doing his best.
who Anna's character in the original script was on cocaine,
Yeah, that makes a
and
lot of sense.
Tino definitely plays it that way
That's the script I read. That's the character I'm playing.
because he certainly acts to the heavens with plenty of
Oh,
iconic
God.
quotes throughout this movie, including who, what do you effing
Yeah,
owl?
that one
Who?
gets me every time.
Um,
It's so funny.
and the I'm angry. I'm very angry, Ralph. You know, you can ball my wife, you if she wants you to. You can lounge around on her sofa in her ex-husband, dead tech, postmodernistic bullshit house if you want to, but you do not get to watch my fin television set.
The fact that he just kicks it out of the car.
Yeah, that was wild.
I mean, I've probably been there where it's like, I'm not, you can't have this.
I
I don't
think
want it either. You can't have it.
he's got a great ass. That's another big one. I think my favorite line in the whole movie, though, is actually from De Niro, where he's talking on the phone with William Kitchener,
Mhm.
and he's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "What am I doing? I'm talking to an empty telephone." Like, I don't understand because there's a dead man on the other end of this effing line. I'm just like, "That's
He
cold."
gets a lot of very cold lines.
Well, that's the interesting thing because Al Pacino is acting so big in this movie, and
Mhm.
De Niro is very cold, calculating, and intense. And he does have a few vulnerable moments. And the relationship with Edie, Amy Brenneman's character, could easily feel just like unnecessary, but I feel like it really does show this side of him that there's um, maybe
Mm.
that he could get out of this life and maybe he wants to get out of this life. And honestly, it really hit me hard looking at, and I don't think Brenneman has the most to work with in this film. I think they have an interesting dynamic with each other, but God, when he walks away
Mm.
at the end, the way she's standing there and reacts to it just killed me. I'm just like,
Mm. I feel bad for
it
her.
was so bad. And, there's a couple of moments in this film, there's some real emotion, and you have, like, I'm not gonna say, like, Hannah feels so disconnected from his wife. I'm not gonna say any of his interactions with Diane Venora really feel that, but Natalie Portman, when his
Mhm.
stepdaughter
Mhm.
tries to commit suicide, and there's like that whole entire sequence is like really intense. And you know Ash
He leaves her at the end of it, which I'm like, you know what? Good for him, because obviously this is not working.
well, yeah, and they shouldn't be together.
Well,
It's very
yeah, no, they're
obvious.
really bad for each other.
And
He's like,
then
is there any way that we can work this out? No.
well, and Ashley Judd, I feel bad for Ashley Judd's character Charlene because obviously her relationship with Val Kilmer's Chris is not good.
Mm-mm.
And she's basically, well, she not basically, she is bullied back into this relationship by Robert De Niro at that one point because it's going to affect his
Yeah.
heist.
He can't have it.
And she winds up with Hank Azaria's character, who's just a complete scumbag and
This is like everything that's
does
not friends.
does not care about her at all.
Mm-mm.
And that's where she winds up at the end, and she's stuck in a rock and a hard place between him, um, forget what the actors, McKelty Williams and Bubba from Forrest Gump,
Mm-hmm.
the cop, pressuring her, and then she has that moment where Chris shows up and she just does a little hand gesture, and like there's a lot, so much emotion in her heartbreak and him just feeling devastated. And that's the thing, you don't really think about this movie as something with a film with a lot of emotion, but
And relationships.
or relationships, but that's what I think the heart of this film is. And then you get all the really intense,
Yeah,
incredibly edited and shot
coordinated.
and coordinated action sequences, which there's not a ton of action sequences in the film, but
No,
the
that's what you remember though.
it's the opening heist with the iron or the
Armored.
armored car, and like
Yeah,
that's so
they knock it
intense,
over.
crazy. And then of course the climactic bank heist, which is devastating, and you lose some of the cops like Ted Levine's character.
Yeah.
um so hot in the 90s, this was like 4 years after Silence of the Lambs, where he was Buffalo Bill.
Oh yeah, okay. I knew
and
it sounded familiar.
and then you had Tom Sizemore, who was in this and in Saving Private Ryan 2 years ago, and was such a big character actor in this era, and he has a whole family. And that killed me when they were trying to decide whether to do this job last, and
Mhm.
De Niro's like, this is up to each of you to make this decision, and he can't make the decision for himself
Mhm.
because he's not that kind of guy.
Mhm.
And he's been so connected and supported to De Niro's character Macaulay the whole entire time they've been working together that he can't have his own opinion.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, you gotta decide for yourself.
Macaulay
Like,
gives him the wrong opinion in this situation. He should have walked away.
yeah.
He had a family, and
Mhm.
he's the one who winds up dying during the heist. Obviously, you have the climactic um chase sequence at the airport, which is
Yeah,
really cool and
yeah.
intense
And loud.
and loud.
Guns and airplanes.
There's so many great moments, and like Macaulay, like a couple of his kills are just cold. Like
Mm.
when he finds William Fitcher's character Van Zant at his house and just smashes the window with that chair, and he's like, and he's interrogating him to find Waingro, Kevin Gage's character, and he's just like, "Where's Waingro?" And he's like, "I don't know," and he just shoots
Yep.
him.
Yep.
He's a dead. And that moment where
No use to him.
he could have gotten away, but he had to go out of his way to kill Waingro at that hotel.
Yep.
And that scene was cold when he was just sitting there on the couch in his bathrobe and he just double taps him in the chest and then pops him in the head. I'm just like,
He's a professional. They even talk about that in the movie at the
yeah,
morgue.
exactly. Like when they see the crime scene at the beginning, they point out like this was like professional, like taken care
Yeah.
of. Because that's the thing, like these guys aren't messing around.
Mm-mm.
And there's so many double crosses and all types of stuff. And the film's really interesting because consequences are so important and your decisions are so important, and they ripple throughout the film. And leaving, like, De Niro beat the shit out of Waingro. Honestly, probably should have killed him
Yeah.
after he screwed up that heist at the beginning of the film, because Waingro is the one that winds up going to Van Zant and they all get screwed over. And Henry Rollins' character, who works for Van Zant's an informant for the police, and that's even how they find out about the bank robbery in the first
Exactly.
place.
Hmm.
And
The
there's
cops are so far behind them, though.
well, and that's the thing, and the cops also have leaks because that's where John Voight's character with that long hair mullet and
Mm.
goatee that John
It's
Voight
not.
had
It's not great.
is an interesting choice. But
Yeah.
like Nate gets a bunch of information from the cops. Like
Hmm.
that's where he's getting all of his information and intel. And it's such a cool cat and mouse game. Of course, you have the iconic coffee shop scene
Yeah.
where it's the first time ever Robert De Niro and Al Pacino shared a screen with each other. They obviously were in the same movie with The Godfather Part 2, but they were in different
Timelines.
timelines.
Yeah, they didn't talk to each other.
So, and that scene's great just watching two of the greatest actors of all time acting against each other. But this is a really, it feels like an epic film,
Hmm.
and I'm I'm very interested because I feel like Michael Mann has done whole lot of great work in the past like
Yeah, I had to look up
25
who
years
directed this because I
or
couldn't
20
remember.
years, and they're coming out with Heat too.
What?
Yep.
What?
Like Adam Driver's going to be in it, Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be in it,
Heat 2, even heat hotter.
which Michael Mann had an amazing 80s and 90s and into the aughts. I'm not a big fan of his Miami Vice movie, but yeah, this is going to star Leonardo DiCaprio, who apparently plays Chris, Val Kilmer's character,
Oh,
which is interesting. And Austin Butler's going to be in it.
is it a prequel or a sequel?
I think both. I think they're pulling
Hmm,
like a Godfather Part Two,
interesting.
because it's going to have Bradley Cooper, Christian Bale, Austin Butler, Adam Driver. So there's a lot going on there. But Jess, do you have any other thoughts to add about Heat?
No, I think that was about it. And I learned that there's a pre-sequel coming.
There we go.
Did not know that.
And probably the last great film that Michael Mann made is 2004's Collateral. And a cab driver finds himself the hostage of an engaging contract killer as he makes his rounds from hit to hit during one night in Los Angeles. And this is written by Stuart Betty, directed by Michael Mann, starring Jamie Foxx as Max, the lead of the movie, despite the fact that he was nominated for Best Supporting
Yeah,
Actor.
that was rude.
Well, you know why? Because
They thought Tom Cruise had a better chance.
because Jamie Foxx was won Best Actor that year for Ray.
Oh, so
So
they couldn't nominate him twice.
they could have, but they campaigned him in two separate categories, so he
Well,
could potentially win two different Oscars. He's the lead of the movie. Tom
yeah,
Cruise is a supporting
that's
character in the
category
movie.
fraud.
Yes, Tom Cruise, Jada Pickett Smith, Mark Ruffalo, Peter Berg, Bruce McGill, Irma P. Hall. There's so many great actors. Like even like Javier Bardem pops up
Yeah,
in this for one scene, which is really
he
cool.
was in this.
So, Jess, what are your general thoughts on Collateral?
We love a Tom Cruise in a villain role, Shane.
He kills it.
He's
He
slick.
is so great, and the character design of that gray suit, his
Yeah,
gray tinted hair,
he looks like the devil.
and there's something very specific and sleek about him, and he's dangerous. And Tom Cruise carries himself in a way in this movie.
Well, you have to have like 100% charisma.
Well, I'm wondering like what would happen if him and Macaulay went toe to toe with each other, because they're
Mm,
both very intense, deadly men.
yeah,
Except, I think
I think they'd steer clear of each other. Like, is that juice worth
well
the
they're
squeeze?
that's the thing,
They have
they're
different
professionals.
jobs. Yeah, and they have two different jobs.
And they're actually kind of interestingly related type characters, and like they're like the professionals.
Hmm.
You see Vincent, his character is very much by like, this is my job and I'm going to do my job.
Don't fuck with my job.
Don't mess with his job. And that's the interesting conflict between him and Max, Jamie Foxx's character, because when Jamie Foxx's character, like, he picked the wrong cabbie, to be honest,
Yeah,
because Max is a go-getter. And that's the interesting thing about his character. But I guess what were some of the things that really stood out to you about the film, Jess?
could have been easy to act opposite Tom Cruise.
Well,
I'm talking about Tom Cruise a lot.
well,
Jamie Fox played a fine part.
and Jamie Foxx is the heart of the film.
He's anxious, but who could blame him?
Well, and I think the film does a great job of building Max up as a character that we can
Hmm.
empathize with and care about, because he's one of us. He's
Hmm.
a dreamer.
He's a regular guy.
He's working his tail
It's not
off.
like he has any specific skills and is a hitman.
He deals with a bunch of nonsense on a
Mhm.
day-to-day basis that a lot of us deal with, and wish that we could have those moments to lash out and confront them. And that's the interesting thing, because Vincent is a negative presence in Max's life because he puts him in danger,
Mm-hmm.
but he also is somebody that pushes Max to be a stronger person. And it's very interesting because Vincent kind of tries to like mentor him a little bit
Yeah,
throughout the film.
it's a lot of raw ambition.
Well, because Max has dreams and has ideas and has ambition
Mhm.
to do stuff, and he's just not the type of person to take the risk.
Well, his mom isn't pushing him into anything either. She's criticizing him, and it's about it. But he still goes
Which,
to see her.
yep, which that was a interesting dynamic with Vincent trying to push him to be like, he's your mother.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, like motherfucker, you're just gonna kill this guy.
well, and everybody has a different experience with their parents,
Mhm.
and it's not right to assume that everybody should appreciate their
Well, he's
parents in
very
the
rule
same way.
governed, so of course he's lawful evil.
Yes, very much so.
Like he's rule governed, so in his mind, honor thy parents.
Yeah, it's
Therefore,
like this is what you're supposed to do,
follow the
Max.
rules.
And even like Jada Pinkett Smith, who's only in it at the very beginning and the very end of the film,
Hmm.
I like her dynamic with Jamie Foxx. I think they have good chemistry. Mark Ruffalo is an interesting presence in the film as this detective who is, he's one of the few forces in the film that's, I think, genuinely trying to
Yeah,
get
he
Max
cares.
out
Yeah.
of the situation. And that's so tragic that he unceremoniously gets murked
Hmm.
by Vincent at one point, which also that club scene, which is like the scene
Yeah,
of the movie with
it's great.
that's very specific song that was also in the Born Identity that I forget what the
It
name
was
of
the
it
early
was.
aughts, that's fine.
The do 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 do. And
Yeah, ready, steady, go.
yeah, and like that scene is so intense and so
I
cool.
listened to a lot of EDM at that time, so that definitely took me back.
And then the chase at the end with the train and everything, and Tom Cruise gets to run. Um,
We love a running Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise loves to run. Um,
He does it in every movie. I'm pretty sure it's in his contract.
I'm sure it is,
He covers a
honestly.
lot of ground for a little guy.
And it's interesting seeing like character actors like Peter Berg and Bruce McGill thrown in there on the police side. But that whole scene where you have Max pretending to be Vincent and has to confront
Yeah,
Javier Bardem's character is really
it's a good
cool. And I think the first time I ever saw Javier Bardem was No Country for Old Men.
yeah.
So like going back and rewatching this, it wasn't this time, it was a few times before. I'm like, oh my God, that's Javier Bardem in this movie.
Because he doesn't
Um,
have that fuck ass bob.
and he has very distinct hair in every role, I feel like. And even this one, he has that tight hair on top and that very well-groomed beard
Hmm.
in this, and it's a very distinct look. But like that whole scene's really well acted. You even have actors like Barry Henley, who's that jazz player. Even that sequence is really interesting.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's some really impressive quiet moments in this, but Michael Mann always finds the tension, and this and Heat capture LA in such a specific way. And outside of Drive, you're probably not going to find another movie that's like LA in a
The seedy underbelly, but not that seedy. Moderately
because
seedy.
Dion Beebe and Paul Cameron, who are the cinematographers on this film, this has a very Michael Mann has a very distinct contemporary, very urban kind of feel to his films.
It's nighttime.
And it is very much nighttime. And James Newton Howard's score is very distinct too, in terms of helping bring up the tension. But this is has really great character work and is a really impressive crime thriller from start to finish that's really intense and thrilling. But Jess, do you have any other thoughts about Collateral?
Yeah, feel bad for Jamie Foxx's character. What was his name again?
Max.
Max. That's right. Wasn't that his name from Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yes,
Yeah. You cast Jamie Foxx in the movie, you better make sure his character's name is Max,
there you go.
apparently. Even though those are very different roles.
Well, that's a wrap on another episode of the Wasteland Retrospective. But Jess, thank you so much, as always, for coming on and chatting movies with me.
You're welcome.
And next week, our fearless leader at the SPM crew, Mike Hilty, will be back, and we'll be doing a double dose of video game adaptations with Super Mario Bros. And Mortal Kombat, both out of the 90s. So,
Wow.
yeah,
What a combo.
combo. Just in time for both of them to be getting new movies. over the next 2 months. So looking forward to Super Mario Galaxy, and I don't know how excited I am for Mortal Kombat 2. I didn't like the last one, but we'll have to see. And next month, Jess and I are going to be taking a dive into a double dose of early 90s westerns about Wyatt Earp. It's going to be Tombstone and Wyatt Earp.
Was he a bullshit artist? Maybe.
Well, what it sounds
If
like.
you're one of the people who survived something, you can kind of just make up what you want or
There you
not.
go. Well, what did we just watch where the we watched 1984, and it's those who can
Oh, control the past, control the present, control the future,
well, no,
whatever.
so it's those who control the past, control the future, and those control the past dictate the future, and those who control the present control the past.
Mm.
Because, if you're in power, you can rewrite what happened before and trick people into thinking whatever. So,
Great last line too, that book.
well, and that is Wyatt Earp. He basically, we'll get into
Look,
that.
man, I respect the hustle, I guess.
We'll get into that when we do that episode. But thank you all for listening. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this episode. What is your favorite Michael Mann film? There's a lot of great ones, from Thief to Manhunter to Last of the Mohicans to Heat to Collateral. But what's yours? And make sure to follow or subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. The SPDM Crew Podcasting Network is ever expanding. So we have many great shows with all different types of interests, especially if you love movies. We got plenty of that. And if you want to be a guest on one of these shows, or you have an idea for your own podcast, reach out to us on our website. And if you like our logo, check out HiFlyer Creative for all your digital marketing needs. But most importantly, thank you as always for tuning in and supporting the Wasteland Retrospective here on the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network.